Okay guys, I'm back. Brad Daddis, Daddis Athletics, CrossFit Supercharged, Daddis MMA. We're moving on to our next Mobility WOD, which is 1B. So we did 1A, which was thoracic spine and shoulders. Of course, as you'll note, we had everything in there. We had traps in there, lats, rotator cuff, the whole shoulder girdle, and it was all myofascial release with the foam rollers, the lacrosse ball, the softball. Now that was 1A. 1B is working those same areas, thoracic spine and shoulders, but with different dynamic stretches and band stretches and whatnot. So you guys need to memorize this stuff. It's going to be really simple, less than 10 minutes to do. So when you see 1B, you're going to know exactly what that means to do. All right? And oftentimes we prescribe it after WODs that may have taxed those areas, or put a lot of stress on those areas. Okay, here we go. Enough talking. PVC pass-throughs to start. You're just going to be doing 10. Typically, this is going to be post-WOD, so you're going to be warmed up, and we're going to really try to gain flexibility. Obviously, the goal here is to ultimately get closer and closer with our hands while we're still able to touch our backs, right? To get the flexibility, but don't overdo it. If at any time in any of these mobility WODs you start to feel a pain that you don't recognize, when in doubt, stop. Ask one of us coaches, all right? After you do 10 of those, we're going to go off to the side. Boom. 10 times. So I'm just taking my right arm until my left and right are both in line with each other and I'm vertical, and I'm really feeling the right side of my lats and shoulders, and this is an awesome stretch. 10 times on the other side. Boom. Boom. You may have done this before, you may have seen it before. 10 times, and then I'm going to go around the world 5 times one way, and again, only if you're ready for this. 5 times the other way. Boom, 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 and then we're done with the PVC for now, for 1B. Moving on, we're going to do our easy pec stretch. You're going to go up to the pull-up rig, whichever location you're at. I can do it one of 2 ways. The door stretch variation, and whatever the coach tells you to do, you'll do. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds, and we'll do 30 seconds on the other side. Or we can have the hand all the way out, getting that stretch right here, right in here. I can also turn my arm in to focus more on the anterior delts. But when you hear 1B, we're right here. So both sides for that 30 seconds. We're going to move on to our banded overhead distraction, traction, JD stretch, because Coach JD loves this particular stretch. I take the band and walk back, and I keep my lower lumbar straight, or excuse me, I should say neutral, and I'm bent over at about 90 degrees, and I'm holding on to that band, have it overhead. You can see it's over my ears, so I'm getting the shoulders and the spine, and I literally feel like I'm getting that traction. It's one of those stretches that's super comfortable and relieving, satisfying. So it's 30 seconds of that particular stretch. From there, we're going to go right into our front rack stretch, all right? So wrist on the inside. Some of you guys have a hard time getting your elbows up on your front squats, or anytime you're in the front rack position for your jerks, whatever it might be. I walk out until I feel a decent amount of tension. Dan, would you mind coming over to the side here? Good. Put the opposite foot in front. Reach across. Grab the elbow. I don't want it to flare out too much. I want it to mimic that front rack position, but go as high as I possibly can in it. I think K-Star calls this the super rack stretch. And I'm here, and I feel, everybody feels it differently in different areas. When you're in the front rack position, you might be tightening the triceps, you might be tightening the lats, shoulders, but wherever it is, you're going to feel it. So we're doing 30 seconds on each side, and we're going to do this particular one twice. So it's 2 sets of 30 seconds on each side. So I would simply switch, Boom. Go easy, don't just walk out too fast. Here, make sure that your shoulders in the socket, in the capsule properly, just like your body would be for the front rack normally. So don't let your shoulder come way out. Keep everything in nice and tight besides the area that we're stretching. And when you're done with your 2 sets of that, you'll be surprised. Just check your rack position. It'll be going way up higher. And ultimately, you'll be able to drive out of that front squat with the chest and get more vertical in the front rack position. Moving on with 1B, we have the rear delt, standard rear delt stretch, where I don't want you guys to do it this way. I want you to pull across so that it's above this shoulder. So I'm getting the posterior delts right here. 30 seconds on each side. All right, everybody knows that. You've done that one since you were a kid. Except I don't want you here, I just want you here. All right, we're almost there. Make sure I'm not missing anything. The last one I'm going to have you do is actually 2 more. 30 seconds, hands behind the back. I reach across, grab the elbow, so I get some good tension there. 30 seconds. This area I'm particularly tight here. Again, be safe, don't overdo it. 30 seconds. I want 30 seconds on the other side as well. Minimum 30 seconds for all of these stretches. To really be able to make a difference, we need to do a minimum of 30 seconds. Really, 2 minutes, but because we're doing all these stretches in conjunction with one another and stretching out the similar muscle groups, we end up achieving that. Lastly, the barbell is on the rack. It's just about a little lower than my own shoulder height. And I'm stretching the anterior delts now. Just getting in deep as far as I feel comfortable going. Oh, right here. 30 seconds. All right. If you need to, take breaks. It's no problem. Get back in it. Make sure you don't hyperextend your own arm as you're doing it. Let's see. That is. I wanted to say the end, and it's not. Our tricep side bend. So a lot of you already know this. We're grabbing the elbow, but I want you to get the side bend in at the same time. So we're getting a little bit more lat, and all along the side of my trunk there as well. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and you're done. All right. So that is your Mobility WOD 1B, thoracic spine and shoulders. And again, thanks to everybody who's helped me over the years with mobility, and big props to K-Star for putting all this stuff out there in his books and on the web. Thanks, guys.